Yes, people.
Hey, you see, you're learning.
No, I'm not. That was supposed to make you go, oh, it sounds awful. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of What Will William Tell?
Yes, welcome.
What have you got to do? Do your little introduction.
I will do.
All right. So.
Let me do it. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah, that's so much classier. Go on.
Welcome. This week's your midweek episode of What Will William Tell? Cue that music. This is fascinating, and I've spoke about this before, actually. And it was how sometimes a bang to the head can do things to your brain and make you act differently. And you talked about how your mum had a stroke, and then she was speaking in numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And so that shows you that damaging the brain can do things irreparable, repairable, but things that are unexplainable.
And how the brain is incredibly complex and mysterious. And wait, sorry, before you even tell me this, I read a thing about a guy that was discovered. He'd lived a completely normal life. He was about 60. I literally read this the other day, 3 days ago. He was about 60 and he went for an MRI scan for like something else. Can't remember what it was. An MRI scan of his head. And he had slightly lower than average IQ, but something like 70% of his brain missing. Just not there. Wow. Instead of having a skull full of brain, it was just like...
Yes,
like
I've seen that, yeah.
And it was unbelievable. And
he lived with, I think it was like 10% of his brain.
Yeah, but it's something crazy, like 90% of his brain or 70%.
Yeah, it was,
something
it was.
crazy.
It's like this little tiny bit of brain was working.
And it was
he was fine.
But the brain had adapted. Yeah, it was slightly lower than average IQ, but had lived a completely normal life.
Me.
And that is how you survive.
You dickhead. How did I not see that coming?
Well, because you've only got 10% you.
Well, here we go. Is
this the woman who woke up speaking Chinese?
Yes. Now, I've got a video and I want to play.
Because we have talked about this before, yeah.
Battery charger.
Sarah Colwell from Plymouth in England is a dead set Pom who now sounds like she's from Shanghai.
It wasn't until I was in the ambulance on the way to the hospital.
She's English.
She actually said, "Are you aware of the way you're speaking?" And I said, "Oh, I sound like I have a slur." And she said, "No, you sound like you could work at a Chinese restaurant."
Cash.
Cash.
Crash.
Crash.
Crashed.
Crash.
Okay. Battery.
It's so...
Battery charger.
It's so incredible, isn't it?
For her, she must always sound like she's trying to insult or impersonate Chinese
it sounds like she's
people.
doing an incredibly offensive piss-take voice.
Karashada. I mean, it's just...
Or did she say battery charger?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, how has her brain done that? She's had an accident, banged on the head, and when she's come round, she speaks not Chinese as in their dialect, but English as if the Chinese person was speaking English.
I think
how is that possible?
I think we talked about this last time, so I won't go into it too much, but there's a book called The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat.
Yes.
Oliver Sacks. And there's loads of these extraordinarily weird... It's a collection of short cases, real cases that this guy found. And yeah, this guy had a brain degenerative disease or something, but it didn't affect him at all. All it affected was his eyesight was fine, and he could remember pieces of music. His memory was fine, but something had crossed in his brain. His wires were crossed between. He was seeing the right things, but his brain couldn't process what they were. So somebody said to him, "Oh, you forgot your hat," and he's like, "Okay," and he tried to sort of pick up his wife because he thought his wife was his hat.
Wow,
I know.
But I just...
That's one for court, isn't it, Your Honour?
Yeah.
Or if we get cancelled, it's like, I've heard Will Mellor trying to do that Chinese accent again, and I'm so sick of it, it's completely racist.
I got banged on the head! But I just find that fascinating. I just find anything like that where... How is it possible? Why Chinese? Yeah. And it must have happened...
Yeah. That's the thing. Why? Like, what? Of all of the things that could have happened to her,
exactly.
Why did the brain go there?
I don't know.
It's a weird thing, and it'd be fascinating to know if, like, the circumstances of how she got banged on the head. Like, was she traveling? Was she in China?
I don't
was
know.
Was she literally in a Chinese restaurant? Had she just watched a film, or is it not connected to any of those?
I know.
And I feel like it's almost more likely it's not connected to any of them. The brain's just like, right, we need to kind of re-spark again. And it just sort of crossed wires.
But it's not a mixture of accents, or it's not. That's it.
Yeah.
And I wonder if she's going to wake up one day and be normal or speaking Indian. Who knows?
Yeah.
What the? It's madness. It's crazy.
I find Tourette's fascinating, and it's
I really feel sorry for people who've got Tourette's of any form, because it's a massive scale of it.
Yeah.
It's not just a swearing one, but the tics look so painful.
Painful, and just even little like jolts like that.
Yeah.
But it's Tourette's is fun, and this is the first thing that we should say out the gate for Tourette's that people do say, but people feel a bit like awkward and icky about it. But Tourette's often can be, let's acknowledge, it can be hilarious.
Oh, of course.
It can be hilarious.
It is funny.
And I've seen,
but I feel sorry for, imagine having that all the time.
There's
in
an
a brief
amazing-
moment, it's funny, but all
there's
day,
an amazing
every day.
clip of an Uber driver in America picks up a passenger and she starts like doing tics and shouting swear words, and he starts shouting them back, and he's like, "Oh my God, do you have Tourette's?" And she's like, "Yeah, you too." And he's like, "Yeah, fuck."
Yeah. And she goes, meow, meow, cat, cat. And they're both just firing each other off.
They are, but what was
laughing,
really gorgeous about it was they were both howling with laughter at how they were setting each other off. But that aside, the acknowledgement that like it can be hilarious. It's like, what an extraordinarily strange thing. And back in the old days, people probably thought they were possessed.
Home. No, they're probably giving that electric treatment.
Electroshock therapy,
lobotomy. That has just been a vegetable.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, at least advanced technology now, we can understand how our brains work, because years ago, you'd have either just put in a mental institute and lobotomised, and that would have been the end of you.
Yeah.
Just before we wrap up on this week's William Tell, there's another little thing I wanted to talk about, and that was, we talked about music as well. We spoke about music before and things, and obviously we've been to Oasis, and there's a change in music, and we realise there's lots of different opinions on what people like in music.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like jazz, right? Do you like jazz? There's certain kinds of jazz that I don't like.
My brother, this is a few years ago now, there was a brief period of about 2 months when my brother, who I've always thought was an absolute ledge, and I've always felt he was quite similar to me. For about 2 months, he turned into a massive cock, and then just became cool again.
Buy a cravat?
And, not quite a cravat. I'll tell you two things that happened when I went to his house. He was showing me his new house, and he went, so me and Steph, his wife, who's lovely, they went traveling around South America for their honeymoon. And anyway, got this new house. Sorry to crash your story, but this is funny. And he's like, so there's my vinyl player, my record player. And I was like, vinyl, really? Really? I was thinking, are you like into DJing or something? He's like, yeah, just, nothing. I don't know why I'm talking like this because he doesn't have a posh accent, but he's like, nothing sounds like it does on vinyl. And I was like, okay.
What was the music?
And then I've gone, so what do you play on it? He's like, he opens a cupboard and he's like, there's all my alphabetized jazz albums. And I was like, why did my brother turn into a cock? Right? And then I was like, whatever. Then we walk into the kitchen and he goes, I said, wow, that's beautiful. You've got an expensive, like lovely coffee machine. You know, not one of these pre-made ones, but some of the ones that have all the, and they just look beautiful. And if you can be asked doing all the barista stuff. I was like, go on then, let's make us a coffee with that. He was like, do you want one? I was like, yeah. I said, okay, cool. He's making the coffee and he says, as he's doing it, he says, this is all really lovely coffee. This is expensive. He's grinding the beans. He's like proper barista stuff. And I said, where's your milk and sugar? And he went, At this point, I could have punched him, but he said, you're not going to ruin it with milk and sugar, are you? And I was like,
no.
and I went, yes, I am. That's how I have my coffee. And he went, oh, it's just when you've travelled as much as Steph and I have. Do you think my passport's empty, motherfucker? I live in the Caribbean where they grow coffee a mile away from where I live. And it was just like, it was so fun. And I battered him for it. Like, and we had a laugh about it. And we do have a laugh about it now. But There was like a brief 2-month period of his life where my brother turned into an absolute helmet and then became cool again.
A jazz fan.
And I caught him right in that thing. And he's like, yeah, I still like jazz and I still like coffee, but I'm somewhat less pretentious about both.
Music choices.
Anyway, music choice.
So yeah, we all know there's an eclectic taste. Everyone likes different kinds of music. That's fair enough. And there was talk about, how music's changed and why, there's not been as many bands around and all this sort of stuff. This popped up and on my phone, and I don't know who this is for.
Right.
There's somebody out there. They're doing it in front of quite a lot of people,
Right.
who seem to enjoy it.
Right.
I'll play it you now. Wait. So you can stop there. What the fuck is going on?
I think we should try it. I'll begin.
Go on.
Why? When did being one of the extras in World War Z? When did that become?
No, hang on. At what point did she find somebody else that went...
A proper cellist, by the way.
Oh, I love
somebody
what you're
who's
doing
trained
there.
is like, oh yeah, that's not, I could make some music out of that.
Bollock.
I'm not
It's
having
up its own arse.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like art. It's like the same thing with art. They go, oh, I can see what they've done here. Yes. Oh, I can
Listen.
see.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you're right about art. I'm all for like pushing the boundaries in creative expression and all that sort of stuff. But it's like fashion. We've talked about fashion as well. Do you remember I once said it's like, to me, like the idea, to me, the height of high fashion is like, how much of an absolute cock can I look?
Yeah, it's just
and the more,
weird.
and everyone's like, oh my God, so brave.
I'm
Bravo.
wearing sandals on my hands.
Yeah, I'm wearing
Oh,
sandals
God,
on my
it's
hands
so
and a suit of
brave.
armour. I've dressed like a balloon.
Dickhead.
Get out.
Well, listen, I think the only way to wrap up this is to do it in music. So I think we have to pay homage to the three people.
Okay,
here.
so what we want to say is this has been your What Will William Tell midweek.
Yes.
And we'll see you for the next episode.
Okay.
But we need to convey that message through
in
the
music.
medium.
So here you go.
Okay. 3. I'll count us in.
3.
1, 2.